All right. Welcome, everyone, to the December Public Speakers Association Virtual Summit. And I want to introduce our first speaker, Jon Kovach Jr. And Jon is an award-winning international motivational speaker and mastermind leader. Jon has helped thousands of professionals overcome their challenges and achieve their goals through his 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. Jon is founder of Champion Circle Networking Association. Jon is a national #1 best-selling author. And Jon is a mastermind leader of the Habitude, I hope I'm saying that right, Habitude Warrior Mastermind and the Global Speakers Mastermind and Mastermind Class, or Master Class. Jon helps business owners save thousands of dollars through personalized merchant processing. So I want to turn the time over to Jon Kovach.
Hey, thanks, Brian. Thank you for the time, and thank you for the patience and just understanding awesomeness, you guys. There's so much going on in this world, and I'll literally describe to you what's going on in my world right now, and you guys can see my face, which is awesome. But everything moving around us is an example of just how complex and amazing this world is. And I'm currently on a bus and I'm traveling to my next destination, which was delayed several hours. So you get to hear from me on the road in mobile, which is amazing. But I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for, despite circumstances and despite everything that we plan for, that we're able to still connect, to make connections. And Brian, thanks for the introduction. That's amazing. I really appreciate the read through of the bio. Every time someone reads it, I'm like, oh, I guess I did do some of that stuff. But I'm here to serve, and I'm here to share, and I'm here to connect with people in a very, very fun and responsible way. But I also want to share, you guys, my message is super simple. It will not take the full 30 minutes. In fact, I'm excited to kind of have you guys talk a little bit about some of the things you're learning from this conversation. But I just want to share a few things. And I love the idea of connecting people in a way that's by far more powerful than any other connecting way. And now many of us have been to networking events. Many of us have been to summits, conferences. The world is slowly opening up due to the pandemic, but we are faced with a world where it's pretty much impossible not to come in contact with people, right? And I think that that's a very fascinating and interesting piece because, look, we were trained either culturally, organically, or through association, how to network, how to build relationships, how to connect with people in a way that leads to helping grow or increase our bottom line. And that's a big deal because essentially what we're talking about is that most people are trained so that they can be a part of some sort of cultural organization that will help them increase their sales. Now, that's the big picture, AKA bring it back to earth. We are talking about networking, but I've learned over the last few years that there's a better way to network. There's a better way to connect, and there's a better way to do everything. And I've learned it through one book, and I call it the business Bible of the world. Many of you know this book. Many of you have read this book. Many of you live by this book. And some of you probably haven't even touched this book because you've heard of it and you know of it, but you've probably heard of Think and Grow Rich. Well, let me tell you, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, written in 1937, was a compilation of all the things he learned by interviewing and by working for, and when I say working, he didn't get paid. It was like a 17-year long internship, apparently, to one of the richest and wealthiest, most connected individuals in the world. That was Mr. Dale Carnegie, or not Dale Carnegie, one of the Carnegies, Andrew Carnegie, I believe. And so I wanted to just share with you a quick thought here is that in chapter 10 of Think and Grow Rich, there is something called the Mastermind Methodology. And the Mastermind Methodology is how individuals can build their in-person or their personal mastermind group. And a mastermind group is a group of people who get together regularly to connect and share and to help one another. And he literally defines a mastermind as the place where two or more minds in the spirit of harmony help solve problems. And to me, that is the definition of networking. If we're not helping each other and if we're not solving problems, then we aren't doing what we need to do. And I think that that's a really, really important remembrance to what the purpose of networking is. And so I share this small keynote just to share with you guys that we all need to be building our own mastermind methodologies. I will briefly go over my mastermind methodologies, and then I'll invite you guys to connect with me on social media later as we can get into more in-depth conversations. We can chat about this. I have built a really amazing relationship with Mr. Brian Wagstaff and the Public Speakers Association, and as of recent, I look forward to working with the Public Speakers Association moving forward. But I just wanted to bring up a couple things here. A mastermind methodology, remembering that we are here to help one another. It is a place and a space where we are, in the spirit of harmony, here to solve problems. And problems can be, positive or negative. Problems are mathematical problems. Problems are a list of things that need to be completed, a checklist. Problems can be things that were never solved. Problems can be things that seemed impossible once, but not impossible anymore. And given all of that, given that strategy, given that mindset, it is important that you go into networking, you go into relationships, you go into connecting in the spirit of harmony to help other people get what they want. Because Zig Ziglar, the infamous Zig Ziglar, said it best. If you want to have anything in this world, you can have it by helping others get what they want first, and thereby you will receive all that you want as well. I think that's a huge, huge reminder to just the amazing, amazing things that can come of all that we're working on in this world. As you build relationships, as you create that awesomeness in your life and connect with people and solve problems, help people solve their problems, you too will receive and get everything that you want out of this life. And I am a firm, firm, firm believer in that. There's so much to that. So given that as well, I want to just kind of continue to share a couple thoughts here. And I guess my ride just got to its stop, so that's hilarious. A couple thoughts here is that the mastermind methodology includes 3 important principles, and I want you guys to remember these. The most important principles here is that you, one, need to create relationships that are not on a transactional level. You need to create relationships at what I call either a reciprocal level, where there is a give and a take, but you know that there is some movement there. And you also want to create relationships that are on a what I call perpetual level, meaning I'm going to serve you, you're going to serve me. It's a continuous understanding that we're going to serve each other. And with that knowledge, you know that you are going to have a relationship with someone or some group that it is unanimous that you serve each other. The next piece to this is the second methodology I want you guys to remember. And I explain all of the relationship-based stuff and everything you need to know in a variety of ways through social media and connecting with me. So it'll be important that we connect. But one of the coolest and one of the most important pieces of this is the second step. And so I want to connect with you and give you some more information. But I love that the mastermind methodology number 2 is a really, really important factor that you will all get to connect with people, not only on a perpetual level, but you will have a relationship that will and can begin with a lot of great opportunities. And so your second methodology here is to be of great importance. And give me 1 second here. My apologies, you guys. I just got to my stop, so this is good. Methodology number 2, and again, this is so cool. We are so mobile. So methodology number 2 is the importance of creating value. And creating value isn't your elevator pitch. It's not your way of typical networking. I mean, the old ways of networking are gone, you guys. And if you're still participating in groups, if you're still involved in networking associations that you get up and give an elevator pitch, I just want you to reflect on how many times you've given that pitch and how much money it's actually brought you. And if you've had success in the past, then you've probably got a really great business that offers a simple service. That service gives you a lot of leeway and opportunity to connect with people on a regular structure. The other piece to this too, and I apologize, there's sirens, so I'm gonna, I love this. You guys have probably never had a great keynote of somebody on the road. How cool is this? I'm looking at everyone's faces and I'm hoping that everyone's enjoying this, but Ray and Somesh looks like it. So I just want to share that as you build relationships, these relationships need to be and must be the kinds of relationships where you can add value. And if you're not adding value, then what are we doing? The biggest, and I think the biggest missed opportunity in the world is social media, because most people go into social media with the mindset that they can just blast to the universe all that they know and say and sell and they offer, and it's just a giant spam world. I mean, they should have renamed Spamalot to social media, because that's what you're getting when you're on social media. Now, there's a given few individuals in this world who actually know how to sell and use marketing in a very, very strategic way. Most people think they do, but the truth is that if you're not adding value, then you're not creating value. And the way you create value is back to the first methodology, which is how do we, in the spirit of harmony, solve people's problems? So that's methodology number 2, is you've got to add value by creating value by offering to solve a specific problem. Don't solve everyone's problems. You don't have that power. You're not Superman or Supergirl, okay? You are you, and you can solve one problem at a time. That's methodology number 2. And the third methodology, to wrap this up and to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions or to go to our next speaker, is that you have the amazing opportunity to create absolute value through not only your relationships, but your amazing opportunities. I also want to create increased opportunities by putting yourself out there. And the third methodology that I love to share is accountability. If you aren't being held accountable and holding yourself accountable, then you will fall short on all your goals, because accountability is the number one most important piece to creating your systems and your responsibilities within your life. I think that that's very, very important. And I used to be an accountability coach. I think he mentioned that in my bio, but I spent years helping thousands of professionals solve problems by getting them to do a couple things. And I call them the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. I can't teach those to you now because there's a book actually coming out on those. I am a #1 best-selling author, and I've published multiple books. And the newest book coming out will cover the all aspects of the 4 irrefutable laws of high performance. But essentially what those irrefutable laws include are the accountability factors that are required to achieve massive success and what I call accelerated success. So wrapping all of this up is that you need absolute accountability. But most people fall short because they think, man, accountability, and they've heard the phrase accountability partner. Well, let me just brief through this. Number 1 is you need to be accountable to yourself. Number 2 is that if you do have accountability with yourself, you will for sure be able to work with amazing people. And remember the methodology number 1, where we're talking about the importance of relationships and how they need to be either reciprocal or perpetual in how you give and take with each other. Given that information, you too need an accountability partner, either a paid for one that you absolutely can trust, one that's going to ride your butt and ride you until you get her done. And that is all so important. The third piece of accountability is that not only do you need to be accountable to yourself and to another person, but you need to be accountable to a group of people, aka your mastermind, that Napoleon Hill taught in Think and Grow Rich, so that you truly can build those relationships and have a culture of achievement. Let me repeat that, because if you don't have a group of people or a culture that's based on achievement, then you're missing out on the whole boat here. They say that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. Well, I actually have done a lot of research on this. And not only is that true, it's actually half the truth, that you are the average of the 5 or 10 most influential people in your life. So if 8, 9, and 10 are, they're only making $40,000 a year or wherever you are in the world, that's probably not the people that you should be spending the most time with if your goal is to be a multi-millionaire. So it's very, very vital that you surround yourself with that culture. And I'll wrap this up by saying that number one is that you definitely need to create value in your relationships by, of course, having reciprocal, or by having, we're a little distraction here, by having reciprocal or perpetual relationships. Number 2 is that you need to have, there's a little distraction here. Number 2 is that you need to have a community of people who you can build absolute incredible relationships with by adding value. And number 3, and the final one, is you need an accountability system. Now, I will tell you, before you go buying a coach and investing in an accountability partner, it is very, very important that you have those systems in place. And so if you don't have your own personal accountability system, then you will fall short. I'll end with this, you guys, because I want to give it up for our next speakers and everything else. And again, thank you for your patience with the background noises and everything. I couldn't have anticipated a more interesting timing, but this is so cool how we have been able to connect. And I'll leave you with this: the most impressive way to build your relationships and your accountability is, give me one second. A little noise here, but to wrap this up is I have been blessed, and I should have started off with a story, but I wanted to end with a story that as an entrepreneur and as a young guy, I have found so many opportunities and successes through my personal accountability. And when I started with that, I have found that if I do what I say I'm going to do, and I have personal integrity with everything that I want to do in my visions, in my dreams, and my aspirations, that I actually attract all of these things in my life. And I have done so since 12 years old. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 12 years old, and I've been able to see the millions of dollars transact due to the amazing opportunities that have come from my personal accountability systems. The easiest way to connect with me and to build relationships here moving forward, to get a hold of my books and to connect with me in any other way, is to connect with me on social media. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Facebook Messenger, Instagram. I'm even on TikTok, and so you can get me there as well. But I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I look forward to serving the Public Speakers Association in more opportunities. And again, thank you for your amazing patience with this. And the fastest way to connect with me is on social media. Please send me a direct message. Tell me that you connected with me on the Public Speakers Association Summit. And here we go. We'll have an amazing time. Brian, thank you so much for your time. And if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I think my time is up. Appreciate you all, and thank you.
So John, yeah, your time is up, but our next speaker, actually he just came on.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Actually, John, I wanted to ask a question. I know you love Think and Grow Rich, but I struggle with it. And what do you recommend someone do that I don't know, has a hard time just connecting with that book or having it resonate with them? Um, are there any other authors that have like rewritten Think and Grow Rich and like maybe like put in modern stories and things like that?
Absolutely. The first answer I have is connect with me. Always connect with me. I will light a fire in you that will make you think, man, is this Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich biblical language, or are we talking like real modern language? I'm really good at connecting people with that fire. The second thing is I've actually been a part of a book series written by amazing coaches, speakers, authors, and so many people that have had the amazing opportunity to write their own personal modern stories that have allowed them to connect with Napoleon Hill's principles. The series is called The 13 Steps to Riches. You can just go to the13stepstoriches.com and you'll find the book anywhere. You can get it on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. But currently they have 3 volumes out there where they do a deep dive with personal stories about every little principle in Think and Grow Rich. It's amazing. It's modern. It's so telling. And you get a different perspective of everything that goes on in that book, Think and Grow Rich. And if you guys didn't already catch it, in Think and Grow Rich. There you go. Brian's holding it up. I love that. Thank you, Brian. I feel so
this is the answer to my question then.
Yeah. And if you have even a copy, Brian is holding up the first copy, which is The Principle of Desire, which in my opinion, desire and faith are the starting point of all successes. We've got 33 contributing authors to that book series, and they're all, well off, continuing amazing authors of awesomeness. And the last thing is that there's also celebrity authors who have been contributing to the series too, some of the top names in personal development in our modern times. So our late Napoleon Hill has passed, of course, but if you'd like to learn more, connect with me on social media and I can connect you with a really cool copy of the 13 Steps to Riches. Brian, thanks for asking that question. And thank you again for having me on this.
John, I have a follow-up question, if I may, real quick.
Of course.
Great session. Thank you so much. One specific question is, how does one develop this mindset? How does one imbibe this internally? Could you give some tips?
Oh, man, I'm so glad you asked that question, and I will keep my answer short, but I look forward to connecting with you one-on-one, because the answer is obviously not rudimentary. It's not an easy answer, but it can be simple. Success isn't easy, you guys. It never was, and it shouldn't be. Otherwise, everyone would be successful. But success is simple. So developing the mindset is clarifying and clearing out the clutter that gets in the way of your success mindsets. And so in order to achieve that which you want to achieve, you need to find the results and answers in your life, in your habits, and in everything that you consume in order to change and overcome the current deficits and mindsets that you may resemble. And obviously I can't coach that out of anyone in 2 seconds. And so I love that question, and thank you for asking. Please connect with me anywhere on social media. My name is Jon Kovach Jr. Jon is the spelling. And that's the fastest way for us to connect. And I can give you a more in-depth answer for that, and even set up a one-on-one if you'd like to chat.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for the questions, and enjoy the next speaker. I apologize, I went a little over after that.
All right. Any other questions? No. All right. Then we will transition to our next speaker. All right. Sam Diamond was born and raised in Utah. He's been married to an amazing woman for going on 18 years, and they have 6 beautiful children. He has worked in so many different fields, mainly culinary and sales. He found his purpose 2 years ago, which has led his family and others out of mediocrity and into greatness. So let's welcome Sam Diamond to the virtual stage. Take it away, Sam.
Thanks, Brian. Sorry, guys. I a little bit late. I just got out of the gym. But just to preface this, this is the first time for me, so bear with me. Today, I'm going to speak about lifelong change that happened for me last couple of years. But it all started out when I was, I think I was about in third grade. I started gaining weight. I lived in a really abusive family. Father, actually, my father was verbally and physically abusive, and I believe I turned to food to make me feel better. You can actually see the difference in photos between first grade and third grade, where my weight started to become an issue. I actually, by the time I got into high school, after multiple incidents with my father, I got up to, when I was 18, I'm about 6'1". I was 215 pounds. Started wrestling the heavyweight class, but I wasn't heavyweight because I was built with muscle. I was heavyweight because I was heavy. And I just realized the last couple of years that my issues with my weight stemmed back as far as, third grade. So last couple of years, I got to the point where I was 403 pounds. I had some stuff years prior, back 2015, I lost 85 pounds in 8 months. Got down to 265, and then I had some emotional stress in my life that turned me to food, back to food to make me feel better. I almost lost my family to an addiction, and I started working and healing from that addiction, which then brought me back to my addiction to food. And I remember the day that I decided I was going to eat food to make myself feel better again. And I was in an especially emotional day. And I remember being in the kitchen and I said, screw it, I'm going to eat to make myself feel better. Like, those words actually came out of my mouth. And I started eating, and I started overeating. I would eat constantly all day, and it wouldn't just be small little meals. It would be full meals, like 3 or 4, 5 meals a day that were full size. When I'd have dinner, I'd probably have like 4 or 5 plates. Probably not that many. I'm exaggerating, but I probably had at least 2 plates. I would eat until I was full, and I couldn't eat anymore almost every time I ate. And I got to the point where after I'd lost all the weight and then got back to, I think it was the weight that I'd lost all of it. I was in the kitchen, and we had a leftover pot of spaghetti, and I was literally shaking as I was shoveling the food into my mouth. Like, I had to get it in as quick as possible. That was one of the lowest points I hit until I got over what I had lost, gained back over that, and I was at a store looking for new clothes, and I think I had gotten above the size that I had been before, and I was in the dressing room, and I just fell to the ground crying, like I was bawling, because I couldn't believe that I had got myself back to that place that I had worked so hard to get out of. And that still didn't change. Like, that was a low point. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I got into a group of people that believed in me more than I believed in myself. That was the biggest change for me. And it was a leadership group that taught me self-worth. It taught me leadership, self-development. I started reading books like the Launching a Leadership Revolution I started reading books like The Ant and the Elephant. That was one of the biggest turning points for me, was being able to learn how to control the subconscious mind, because I had programmed my subconscious mind that food makes me feel better, and the constant habit of eating and overeating and those endorphins created that subconscious mind habit that when I ate, that's just what I did. And so visualizing something different was key. And that's how I learned to train my subconscious mind into who I am today. 2 years ago, well, actually February, I don't know, can I share, Brian?
Yes, I made you co-host.
Okay, so I'm going to share a picture with you real quick. Let's see if I can share my screen. So February of 2020, excuse me while I jump into my Facebook page, just so I just know that this is where the photo was. Okay. So this is what I looked like February of 2020. At that time, I was 403 pounds. And I had been with the organization, it's called Life Leadership, for, let's see, joined in August. So about 6 months, 5 months, something like that. And I decided that I wasn't going to live this way anymore. I wasn't going to live the life of going to work, coming home, a life of just a mediocre life. I decided I was done. And I started this journey of gaining control of my subconscious mind, which resulted into me losing 155 pounds in less than a year and a half. I believe wholeheartedly, and this was me January of this year. That's the comparison. I've actually lost, probably since then, I've lost another 40 pounds on top of, actually no, more than that. I think that was 300 or just under 300. So I've actually lost a total of 50 pounds on top of that. What right there. So yeah, I contribute that wholeheartedly to my weight loss or my mindset. My mindset is sorry, I'm just trying to get off. There we go. Stop sharing. So I believe that mindset is 100% in any kind of addiction or habit or something that you want to overcome or achieve. Mindset is where it comes from. If you go to any nutritionist, you go to any trainer, like a physical trainer at a gym or whatever, they're going to tell you that weight loss is 100%, or sorry, it's 80%, 90% nutrition, 20% physical, right? I believe that it's 100% mental. Like, once you can figure out the subconscious mind and how you program it and control it, everything else is just a result. It just is what happens, because once I started visualizing what I looked like and what I knew I was meant to be, I created a reality in my mind. The reality was I'm 200 pounds. That's what I kept visualizing. I saw myself standing on the scale, feeling the feelings of who I really am and the greatness inside me, and the happiness that came from it. That's one of the biggest keys. Like, I felt the feelings of joy and what it would feel like and the strength. And that created a reality. But my brain, what's so cool about the brain is it's actually a natural problem solver. It solves problems on its own naturally without you even have to think about it. And I told myself, okay, this is my reality when my reality is down here. And so my brain's like, wait a minute, I see that there's friction here. There's a problem. How do I fix it? So then my brain goes to work and started fixing habits that I started eating less. I started exercising on a daily basis. This wasn't conscious. I wasn't consciously doing it. It was okay, I get up, I go to the gym. I come home, I eat this amount of food. I eat 0 carbs and sugars. Like that's what I set. That's what I saw in my mind, and my brain just went to work, and it was a result. So 155 pounds down from 403. So I'm sitting at about 148. I still got about 48 pounds to go, but I know where I'm going and I know how to get there. And it's all based on what I've done subconsciously in programming my subconscious mind, and now the results are happening. Like that's the key to any kind of habit that you want to form, is you see yourself in who you are at the end, not during the struggle, because the struggle is going to come, but as long as you see that vision and you dream about it and you see it daily on a daily basis. There's so many different books that you can look and read. One is The Power of Positive Imaging, is an amazing book that teaches you about visualization, and The Magic of Thinking Big is one super amazing book. And then the last one I'll give you is The Psychology of Winning by Dan Waitley. That one was so phenomenal for me. Both Magic and Thinking Big and The Psychology of Winning are two of the books that really have helped me realize what a winner I am. And every day I win, and I dress and act that way, right? Like one of the biggest things both of them taught me was if you dress and groom and all that kind of stuff daily, then you just feel like a winner. So normally, and sorry, I just got out of the gym. I got to the gym late, but I had to get there. So that's part of my subconscious training. But normally I'm in a tie, dress shirt, nice shoes, slacks, because I dress like a winner daily. Like I actually even dressed up in like that with a nice suit coat, a blazer for Thanksgiving. And I went to Thanksgiving like that. And my brother-in-law's dad was there, and he asked me, he's like, when did they tell you it was a formal dinner? And I said, nobody. I just dress like a winner, because that's what I am. That's what my subconscious mind has been programmed to do, and for me to feel, so that every day I'm winning. I'm winning in my weight loss. I'm winning in my leadership. I'm winning in my family with my kids. I'm winning in my business every single day, because I dress and feel that way. And my subconscious mind is programmed for that. I'll be honest up front with you about this talk today. I told Brian, I was like, dude, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I've never done this before. This is my first time ever doing something like this. I didn't really have much to plan for it. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And he's like, you can do it. And he's like, talk about so many different things that he threw at me that I'm like, wow, I could talk about any of those things, because I'm a winner. I win daily. I have things to share with people that I think can help inspire and affect change in their life, because I've seen it in mine. So I appreciate the time. I'm sorry if I didn't go long enough, but I know 100% that whatever we've gone through in our lives, that learning to control the subconscious mind and retrain it to become what you know you're supposed to be, not what you want to be, but you know who you are and what you're supposed to be, that sky's the limit. And you can be and do whatever you want. Thanks for your time.
Does anyone have any questions for Sam? So I've struggled with my weight like you have, Sam, and I used to tell myself, oh, I don't eat to make myself feel better, and that was a lie. I mean, I was lying to myself. It was like, no. I started to notice I would start eating when I got depressed or when something bad happened. I mean, it wasn't just a celebration. It was like, you celebrate and you eat food, or you get down and, oh, well, I might as well eat, a huge bowl of ice cream. So I totally relate with that, but it's hard to stop. So, I mean, it's the books that you've read. That's mostly what has changed your mindset when it comes to food.
No. So in my organization, we teach about three things. We read, we listen, and we associate. We read books like the ones that I presented to you. We listen to audios. I have a whole education system that I listen to on a daily basis on entrepreneurship, leadership, personal skills, family, marriage, mindset, all that kind of stuff. And then I associate with like-minded people. I surround myself with people who, like I said in the beginning, they believe in me more than I believed in myself. And I just surrounded myself with them constantly. And I've never let that go, and I never will, because those are the type of people that are always going to keep me where I want to be. And it's a community. That's one of the biggest things is having that community. And there's another book that if you go read, it's called The Power of Habit. They take a lot of what AA did and turn it in and use that as an example of building a community of people that are going to help you achieve your goals. And so that combination of all those things is what got me my results, because there are so many times that I could have stopped. I had back in December of last year, I was able to take part of a tool that really helped me lose a lot of weight, and it actually cost a lot of money. And I had so many different times where my wife was like, well, like, are we supposed to be doing this? Because so many things different happened. And one was like a week before I was about to take a part of it I had the money that was geared to go to that taken out of my account. And my wife was like, okay, that's a sign. And then I was like, no, this will help me change lives. Like I knew where I was going, and I knew in my mind, I'd already seen it, I'd already felt it. And so I knew that nothing was going to stop me from getting to this point. And it was so helpful to have like-minded people surrounded me that I could go to and say, hey, this is what's happening. And they would lift me up, inspire me, and help me to keep moving forward. So sorry, that was kind of a long answer.
No, that's okay. So are you saying that like when you're feeling down and it's 10:30 at night and you're watching a movie, then getting around like-minded people, that's the way to keep from, making a huge bowl of popcorn or getting a huge bowl of ice cream?
Yes. Sending a text, calling them on the phone. 100%. Yes.
And you've done that.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Sam, could you list off all those books again one more time for anyone who didn't get them all?
Do you want me to put them in the chat?
Well, we're recording this and the chat doesn't get
Okay.
recorded, so you can go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So I talked about the power of positive imaging, um, uh, psychology of winning, the magic of thinking big, the power of habit, and the ant and the elephant.
All right. And if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way?
You can connect with me on Facebook, or hey, you can text me. I don't care. My number is 801-362-3518. So you can reach out to me anytime, and I can share my experiences with you.
Cool. Does anyone else have anything for Sam? All right. Well, if there are no other questions, we'll move on to our next speaker, if that's okay with her. She just gives me the heads up or the nod. There we go. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sam. Let's see. All right, so we will transition to our next speaker, and I am excited to introduce Doreen Hillier, and she is a businesswoman, mother of two, speaker, author, and award winner. She took to TFG from tax and financial guidance to transformation for growth in 2017, getting her pastor's license. So it's my pleasure to introduce Doreen and turn the time to her. Oh, and I will let you share your screen if you need to.
Yes, I don't need to share the screen. That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just basically be speaking, and maybe I will show something a little later. Thanks. So thank you very much, and welcome everybody. Visualization is what I decided to speak on. You can see a whole bunch of papers back here as I'm cleaning up my tax accounting business and moving it into the transformation for growth business. TFG is my business, and I said, well, you know what? I'm keeping the corporation. I had over 200 clients in tax accounting. I was helping them, but I was working very long hours. And now I decided, okay, what's your true calling? Do you know what your true calling is? What is it that you would love that burns with a passion in your heart? Well, I decided that what I really, really loved doing was helping and caring for people wherever they were, whatever age they were, whatever gender they were. And with visualization, we help find out what your true passion is and what you would like to do. So approximately 15 years ago, I would say, I did my first vision board. I was living in an apartment and I wanted a house. I wanted to be able to walk on grass. So I put a picture of a house on a piece of bristle board, large piece of paper, bristle board, I call it. Some people don't know what that is, but I'm sure all of you do. So I cut out a picture out of a magazine and I put a house there. I put a car. I put a trip to Florida. I put 3 books stacked because I love writing and I was going to write and be published, and everything that I saw over a 5-year period for me. And you know what? Within 2.5 years, all of the things on that vision board had taken place. I had already accomplished everything. And I said, okay, that's absolutely fantastic, because we see here, but our visualization is really in the subconscious, right? So I built another vision board and I put it on the wall where I could see it. One of the things I wanted to do was go to Hawaii. Within 2 days of putting a picture of an Hawaiian trip on my visualization board, somebody announced, this travel committee announced that they were doing an Hawaiian trip. So March 2022, all going well, we should be going to Hawaii, right? It's just that everything you want, you can really have. You can picture it, smell it, and taste it. And some people put their vision boards on their computer, right? And you know what? That also works. The only thing is, then you may be working on your computer doing something, and you'd have to go and look at it again. But if you put it on your wall somewhere, whether it's your bathroom, your office, your den, then you'll find out that subconsciously, you're not even really looking at it every day, but subconsciously it goes to work and things start to happen. I'm also writing a chapter in a book called The Unstoppable right now, and just finished the chapter. It's due tomorrow, and just finished it, and going to be published with a one-time, bestseller. And so that's going to be coming up in February. And I joined a wellness company that's going to be launched in Canada and the US in March. So all kinds of opportunities open. But I remember when I joined Public Speakers Association some years back, and they asked me to come and speak. And I went up to the table in front of the speaker, live, of course, not so easy to do that right now, but yeah, live. And I started knocking on the table. And they didn't know what I was going to say, but opportunity knocks. So not only was I helping these people in my tax accounting business, but I could feel that tug, that knocking. And God wanted me to go in a different direction. In 2017, I got my pastor's license. Now, shortly, in 2 weeks, I'll be writing my chaplaincy license, and still being able to care and help people, which is my love and my passion. Putting my books on my vision board, putting the trip to Hawaii on my vision board, all of those things helped. And for the last 2 years, I've been, studying with Mary Morrissey, Deborah Pondman, some of the great leaders and people that have already accomplished so much. I don't mind if mine is just on a little bit of a smaller scale, as long as I can get that message out to the world, to know what you want, visualize what you want, and let your subconscious go to work and let it all come together. If there's anybody actually listening in now and they would actually like some help in that, I can also help with that. Because I remember another time when a girlfriend of mine came over, and her and I were going to work on a vision board together. We sat down with magazines, and someone I know had a dream of going to the Greek islands. And I put that on my vision board. But at that time, that wasn't my vision. After I got my bristle board half filled up, I'm like, this is not working for me this time. And the reason being, it wasn't my vision. It wasn't my dream. So be sure of what you want and what you need. And then let's get to work, whether it's cutting it out of magazine or downloading a picture of whatever it is you want on the computer, then that would be great. And put your vision board together. In 1995, I joined Toastmasters. I was a very, very shy person. I would smile a lot, but I was shy. And I got up and I did my icebreaker speech in 1995. But little did I know that I would later in 2009, 2010, be the district governor leading 4,500 people. Or going to California and going across the stage and being given the award for upholding the core values of Toastmasters. So between Toastmasters, Public Speakers Guild, and all of those things have helped me put together a plan, how to speak, how to hold workshops, but more to have an impact on others' lives as well as mine. A couple of years ago at conference, a man ran up to me and said, "Do you remember when you did the workshop, 10 Laws of Leadership?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Something you said in that workshop made me go home and make a different decision." And I said, "What was it?" He said, "I was bullied at work for 25 years. My dream, my visualization was to own my own company. And in that 10 Laws of Leadership workshop, Doreen, gave me the courage to go home and talk to my wife. I quit my job and I started my business, something I've always wanted to do." So if you can help somebody see what it is that's their true calling and reach your true calling and be happy and fulfilled, then I think that's what visualization is all about. So put your vision board together. Start speaking, start sharing what your vision is. Start talking about your successes. I did another workshop called Successories, and I gave everybody in the room a chance to be able to stand and say what their vision was. And one woman stood and said, I couldn't read and I was not able to help my children with their homework. Somebody sat down with her. I sat down with another young man who had passed grade 12 but didn't know basic math. I sat down with him and worked with him for a year and I invited him to the conference. But this man, this woman that couldn't speak could now help her children with their homework. So on and on and on, there's all kinds of successes. If we are true to our calling, our passion. I'm going to stop for a second there and just ask, are there any questions so far? No questions? Can I ask a question? Is there anybody here that has put together a vision board? Sam, you have? And you have Brian? And you have Somesh?
Yes.
Very good. Excellent. So how did you find putting that vision board together? Did it work for you? And how quickly did it work for you?
Initially, for me, it did not work, but when I started making it a practice to look at it every day, I did started realizing the power of the vision board, and things started materializing. So now it's a firm belief that it definitely works.
It definitely does. Yes. Yes. Anybody else? Brian, did you want to share yours?
Well, I haven't had as much success with the board itself, but I have put different photos on my computer, on like a screensaver or just on the desktop of things that I want, and I've had a few of those things happen. I mean, and some of them I didn't even really think about that much. It was just there in the background, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, this is happening. Cool.
Excellent. Excellent. And Sam, did you want to share?
Sure. Yeah. I've had a lot of things on our vision board that have happened. My wife put it together, and it was all clippings and pictures, and but yeah, one by one we see things happening, and I can actually see a lot of different things that we have on our vision board happening in the near future, like really close. It's multiple ones of them are gonna all. It's gonna be almost like a snowball effect, where it's gonna be like where all these things just all of a sudden happen on our vision board. It's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very exciting. I put together the 5-year, and it happened in 2.5 years, and I'm like, okay, what now, right? But we got to be sure that we're being true to ourselves, and it's our passion and our dream. And that's exactly what we want to happen. Francis, I don't see you, and you're on mute. So if you're there and you would like to share. Yes, Francis, would you like to share?
Okay, I have done vision boards for many, many years. And one that stands out for me is a picture that I had of palm trees, because I always love to visit the islands. And one day I walked by and the picture of the palm tree fell on the floor. I picked it up and put it back on my vision board. And I think about 3 or 4 months later, I spent a whole month in the Virgin Islands in a condominium that a friend allowed me to use. And it was one of the greatest experiences I had ever had. But it fell to the floor, the picture, picked it up, looked at it. And about 3 months later, I was in a beautiful island, experiencing a lot of great things that showed up once I got there. So yes, they work. Yes, they are very powerful. And yes, it is something that's always working in the subconscious, whether you are aware of it or not. So I don't think we can do too many of those. Actually, I think I should do a vision board for every area of my life. And that would put the emphasis on things, instantly, and you can see it. So I would do it in the area of spiritual thinking or spiritual living, finances, and world traveling. So those would be 3 separate areas, but actually they're one, but they could be seen as separate dreams or ideas that one may vision for themselves. Now, I do a seminar called The Greatness I Am Seeking is Also Seeking Me. And that surely is an example of how the vision board works.
Exactly. So under the umbrella of TFG, under my business, I had taken the physical, the mental, emotional, the spiritual, the financial. I gave it legs, because every area of your life, we need to have wellness, right?
Right.
So that's exactly what I've been doing. And just this past week, I was able to help a young man who was just finished grade 12. And I was able to help him in an area that I wasn't really prepared for at this particular point. Because of COVID, some people got depressed, right?
Right.
And with the chaplaincy, I'm preparing for the right questions to be able to draw people out what it is that they want to be their outcome. And so with the pastor's license, it was more of doing weddings and funerals and stuff, which I've had the opportunity to also do. But with dealing with somebody who's had some depression and things like that, it's an area where we have to be really, really prepared and sensitive to. Little did I know when I prepared to come and do the vision board this week, that Monday I would get the news that my sister in Roanoke, Virginia passed away. It was a shock. And it was a couple of days where I was confused and not sure really how I was going to handle it. But I thought, here I am preparing to walk alongside others. And now I have the opportunity to walk along with my sister's family and have people pray with me. So it's been a journey for sure, absolutely. But I think once you know what you want, you're true to yourself, you put it on a vision board, whether it, like I said, it's electronically or on the wall. I prefer to be able to see it. And God works with us, right? We actually have Him show us and walk with us and show us who we can help, what we can do, and how to go about doing it. I'd like to share another story with you, if you don't mind. I wrote my first poem out in Alberta. Beautiful scenery. I'm originally from Newfoundland, Canada, which is beautiful scenery too. Absolutely. Right across Canada, right across the States. Good, beautiful sceneries. And as I was preparing for a workshop that I called Women on Their Own, which was to teach them budgeting, because some women go out and overspend depending on their mood, or if they had an argument with their wife or husband, whatever, right? And so I said, okay, let's prepare this. Well, 6 weeks in, a woman came to me who was still married, her husband was still alive. She asked if she could be at this, because I called it Women on Their Own. And she brought 2 poems. Had nothing to do with the budgeting course whatsoever, but they were good. And I said, Mary, give me 3 weeks after the course, and I will help you. I will edit them for free. Give me 100 of your best. I'll edit them for free, and I'll put you in contact with a publisher. At 72 years of age, after being laughed at by family and by her professor in college, she now was a published poet. You know, I love making an impact on people's lives and helping them realize their dreams. Sometimes we don't know what our dream is, our true calling. Sometimes we just need to be assisted or helped, or see beyond the eyes into the soul of what really is lurking there. But in so doing and helping Mary, in my inbox, you can call it divine intervention, I sure do, there was a poetry contest that came in. And I thought of giving it to Mary. And then I said, no, she waited this long to make her dream come true. I wrote a poem and I sent it in. Now I'm an international published poet. It was about my mom, my very best friend and confidant. I got a 24-karat gold Shakespeare coin, and they wanted to give me a large glass trophy and things like that, and go to Vegas and celebrate. So in helping somebody else reach their desire or their goal, you can also wind up having things happen in your life that you didn't have on your vision board. It just all lines up. But having that vision board, that visualization working with you, and just bringing things into being and manifesting it, I believe, truly, truly believe in it. And I know that right now I'm on a path that God wants me to be on, with the chaplaincy and the pastoring. And I know that in counseling, I'm going to be able to help a lot of other people. Not that I didn't help my 200 plus clients in tax accounting and 15-hour days working, especially tax season, December to the end of June. And then the corporate taxes would be all through the year. But December to June was crazy. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to work 15-hour days anymore. I'm going to buy a place in Florida. I went to Florida for a couple of holidays, and I found this place in Florida that I bought in Pinellas Park, Sunset Palms. And I would go down in the winter instead of doing taxes. And I would celebrate down there around the pool. I did that 2.5 weeks. I had a beautiful sunny holiday. Really enjoyed it. And I said, what now? I don't want to retire. I want to do something. They said, run for the board. So I ran for the board for 3 years, $18 million corporation. And then I went over to Northside Hospital and I said, you know, I would like to work at the hospital. Can I do that? Well, Canadians can't work in the US without a green card. So let's put the paperwork together and let's see if I can get a green card. Well, I can volunteer, can I? Yes. So I volunteered as a chief comfort officer at Northside Hospital in Florida for the 3 years. So the thing is, we can all work together to make this world a better place. But where do we start? We start by knowing what we want, visualizing what we want, fulfilling our needs, so then we can go out and help others. Are there any other questions?
Thank you, Doreen, for sharing very excellent information. And I'm also a Toastmaster, so thank you so much.
Excellent. Where are you a Toastmaster?
Based in New Jersey.
New Jersey. Excellent. Excellent. I'm still a Toastmaster after 26 years, but people don't believe I was once shy, but I was. I remember my first speech, just holding on to the lectern and reading my words, but reading my name. Hello, my name is Doreen Hillier, and I thought I should at least know who I am. So when I tell somebody who's new now, who's scared of public speaking, oh, they laugh at that because it is funny, really. You read your name, like, yeah. Any other questions or comments?
So, Doreen, the question I have is, what happens when you put something on your vision board and you're looking at it and immediately your mind says, oh, that'll never happen? Like if you put, let's say you put up there, I'm going to make $10,000 in coaching this month. And then you look at it and, you know, your mind says, or immediately you look at it and then it says, you know, it'll never happen. That's not going to happen. Then what does that mean? Does that mean that you need to make a smaller, more believable goal, or?
Excellent question. I love that question. What I would suggest to that is to, first off, believe in yourself. If you put something on the vision board and it doesn't happen, maybe you didn't really search deep enough either to see what your true vision was. Maybe 10,000 wasn't enough. Maybe it should be 10 million. Mary Morrissey says, write a check to yourself for 10 million. I said, well, I've made 10 million and spent 10 million. So now, you know, we have to look at making wise decisions with what we have as well, whether it's investments and things like that, right? So if we want something and we want it bad enough and we realize it's true to us, true to who we really are, then I think that we can have anything we want in life. But it must be true to our being, true to ourselves. So if you put 10,000 and you'd like to make 10,000 a month, how will you make it? How will you do it? What will you do? Will you have lots of speaking engagements, which 10,000 you'd probably get in one shot? Depends. It wires you. I've done some speaking engagements where I got $200 for 20 minutes, which is not a lot, but you know what? Having that impact pays dividends bigger than the 10 million. Making a difference in someone's life pays big dividends, right? So take every opportunity, say yes to every opportunity possible, so that you have an impact in this world, and just spread the love, spread it. And the more fulfilling it comes back to you. It comes back to you in dividends that are just unbelievable in times. Just unbelievable. Just make a difference in the world, in everybody's life, and as many lives as possible, but make a difference in your own. Don't forget yourself. The Bible talks about how love others as yourself. And it took me a while to get into what that even truly meant. Love others as yourself, because I didn't love myself. I was shy, I was insecure. My mom was sick. I had to learn how to cook and all kinds of things when I was 9 years old, and clean house, look after my baby brother, Craig. You know what? Sometimes there's people can come from having nothing and become multimillionaires. Why? Because they were born to be able to do that and then to be able to give back to the world. So I think sharing the love is the most thing that anybody needs, even right now, this very moment. And this past 2 years has been really hard on so many people. So if we just reach out, God gave me a vision to reach out to 3 people a day. If you reach out to 3 people a day, you're making a difference. So if you put something on your board that you think negatively, this is never going to happen, If it's not for you, it won't. What you believe, but at the same time, let your vision, let your visualization, let your subconscious go to work to bring to you what it is you truly want. And I think, Brian, through Public Speakers Association and reaching out and getting other people to come and speak, you won't have to worry about your 10,000. You got to come on and speak too, and share your story and share what you've got to offer. I think you'll do it. So believe in yourself.
All right. So it's not, maybe it's not the goal is too big. Maybe it's too small. Or
Exactly.
maybe it's just out of alignment from who you really are.
Yes.
So work on the alignment part.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Somesh, you had your hand up. Oh, you're fine? Okay.
I just gave a reaction of a clap.
Oh, actually not the clap. Okay, thank you. To get Brian to come and speak and share with us. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And like me, when I put down the Greek islands and it wasn't my vision, it was someone else's. I took that bristle board and I ripped it up. Make sure it's your vision, not someone else's. Okay?
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Doreen. So we will move on to our last speaker. And so
before,
much.
I'm sorry, before we do that, can I share my number and email in case somebody
yes,
wants
yes.
to be in contact?
Yeah, I was going to do that and forgot to do it.
Okay, thank you. I'd
Oh,
appreciate it.
Did you want to just say that what your email is and
Okay.
where people can contact you?
Okay, you can contact me via Doreen Hillier, my name, at gmail.com. And my telephone number is 226-332-0260. I live in Guelph, Ontario, Canada. And I would love to hear from all of you. I truly would. And if you want some assistance, you want someone to talk to, or if you want to just encourage me, believe me, I would love to hear from all of you. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yes. Thanks, Doreen. All right. So Somesh Chablani is a certified speaker, author, and youth coach with 25 plus years of global leadership experience. Somesh speaks and teaches on various topics such as leadership, team building, and community service. And he is an avid Toastmaster and currently serves as the Youth Leadership Chair representing the New Jersey and New York District. In addition, he is visiting faculty in many schools and universities because he loves to teach and mentor students. So Somesh, the time is now yours.
Thank you, Brian. Let me share my screen. Brian, can you see my slides? Brian, can you confirm? Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can see him.
Great, great. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Brian and Public Speaker Association for hosting me. Again, my name is Somesh Chablani, and I'm a global youth leader, author, and educator. Every child is a genius, and I'm here to share all about youth leadership and how you can be involved in the joy of community service. Before we begin, I have a question for you. Can you guess what is the current global population of young people, that is children and youth, less than 20 years of age? Can I request you to guess it in your mind or type it in the chat window? I do see the responses. Thank you for your response. As per the United Nations data estimates, the current human global population is 7.9 billion. The population of young people, children and youth less than 20 years of age, is 2.6 billion, which is approximately 1/3 of the current global population. As you all know, young people are also known as Generation Alpha or Generation Z. Every 9 seconds, a member of Generation Alpha is born. That is, all the young children between the age groups of 1 to 10. That is, they are born after 2011. And every week, approximately 1 million new members are born worldwide. By 2025, Generation Alpha will be nearly 2 billion of the global world population. The young people are surrounded by technology at a very young age. They are digital natives, and hence non-verbal communication pattern using text messages and social media are not really well balanced with human-to-human communications and group interactions. This lack of human-to-human interaction and socialization is often reflective in their behavior of being shy, quiet, and sometimes nervous. Nelson Mandela said it well. The youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. The young people are not fully prepared to lead the future, which is in their hands. And hence, it is imperative for each one of us to provide these young people an opportunity to get involved in a youth program. And it can be any youth program run by nonprofits in your community, or you can search up Toastmasters International. As a youth leader and educator, I firmly believe every young person has potential, but this potential needs to be developed. And a youth program provides them this platform to communicate, collaborate, learn, and have a lot of fun. I heard from my other fellow speakers about their hidden talents and their personal success stories. I found my superpower 10 years ago when I had a chance to serve the community and teach a youth leadership program. I am an avid Toastmaster and have benefited from the Toastmasters program to enhance my public speaking and leadership skills. For the benefit of everyone, Toastmasters International is a global nonprofit organization and a world leader in communication and leadership development. With 350,000 members globally, they have a very comprehensive youth leadership program as well. I have another question for you. What is your superpower? You can type it in the chat window. Thank you. I appreciate your response and exciting to learn about your talent and superpower. As I interact with children and youth across different countries and continents, the young people tell me they have big dreams and ambitions. They want to make new friends and have more social interactions. They want to lead with a purpose. But the young people also tell me they want to learn leadership skills. They want to communicate effectively, but they also have fear of public speaking. This fear is very common in young people, even adults. Of the students I've taught youth programs across the globe, I surveyed age groups 10 to 20 years, and based on the student response data and my interaction with their parents, I found the top 3 root causes of fear of public speaking are self-esteem. Second, lack of conversational skills. And third, lack of exposure with team collaboration. Let me briefly elaborate on each one of these. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is how a person feels about themselves. Unfortunately, most young people tend to develop low self-esteem as they go through the different life stages and pressures. Pressures such as social media pressure, exams pressure, and sometimes bullying. Hence, a lack of self-esteem causes a lack of self-confidence. The second reason, lack of conversational skills. Some children really struggle with talking to others because they do not know how to express their thoughts in words. Less in-person conversation and interaction and a lack of self-esteem makes it challenging for them to have a conversation. In addition, the social anxiety condition has also intensified during the lockdown and pandemics, making it more difficult for them to make new friends. And the third reason, lack of exposure to team collaboration, is because sometimes they lack that environment to collaborate on projects or never get an opportunity to really learn and share best practices with their peer groups. The Youth Leadership Program is a very comprehensive program and helps students to develop speaking and leadership skills. This program spans across 7 weeks and is conducted in person as well as online. The 90-minute session each week is highly interactive with a lot of activities and fun. And it covers various aspects of basics of public speaking, teamwork, leadership skills, as well as group facilitation skills. To name a few activities which are included in each session: speech organization, presentation and speech delivery, listening skills, which is very important, vocal variety, body language, and the most fun part, debates. And most of the youth and children enjoy doing debates. There are many benefits of a youth program, but to name a few, it helps students and young people to overcome nervousness. It helps them to organize their ideas logically, which helps them in their academic journey. It improves their listening skills because it is very important to understand others' perspective. As Stephen Covey said, seek to understand before being understood. And finally, teamwork and having a lot of fun. Our current and past students have truly enjoyed the program thus far, and they keep coming back to volunteer and practice. Practice is a key because practice makes you perfect. I want to share a few testimonials from a student as well as a parent. What you see on the screen is Vibhav, a student from New Jersey, who says, "I truly enjoyed and benefited from the youth program, and it's made me a confident speaker." And another parent from California talks about how her son now enjoys school debates. And at one point, he used to fear from public speaking and used to get nervous in school debates. The last 18 months has been challenging for many of us, but every crisis also provides us an opportunity. I love quotes and like to share this quote by Winston Churchill: "Never let a crisis go to waste." And this is exactly what me and my team have done by leveraging technology and the power of Zoom to teach youth programs, not only within the US, but globally. And we plan to organize a global youth conference in early 2022. Another good quote is from Benjamin Franklin about involvement. Children want to get involved. Parents like to get involved with the youth programs, as well as volunteers, because the quote says, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." And we always invite guest speakers to come and share their talent, stories to inspire the young people. And hence, I invite you to come and volunteer in our youth programs as a guest speaker or participate in our upcoming Global Youth Conference, because your contribution and sharing your skills with young people will immensely help them to learn and lead. My personal mission is speak, lead, inspire, and transform young people. Thank you for your time. I have shared my contact details. You can contact me anytime via email, phone, or social media, and I look forward to hear from you. Thanks again, Brian, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Well, I guess I'll go first if no one else has any questions. So this youth program, is this your youth program or is this part of Toastmasters?
It is part of Toastmasters.
Okay, and is it, so, I mean, this is like an international program that they have for youth all over?
Yes, Brian. Toastmasters has a very comprehensive youth leadership program, and we have coordinators who organize these programs, and we have a lot of participation and volunteers who come and teach, parents participate to make sure it's fun, it's interactive, and with the power of Zoom, it's not limited to a region. We have now got students from all over different countries, from across the US cities. So it makes it more fun and collaborative.
Oh, that's awesome, because one of the visions we have for the Public Speakers Association is to have a youth Public Speakers Association, or like the Future Public Speakers of America. There's other organizations like that in high schools, like Future Farmers or Future Business Leaders of America. So yeah, that was something I was thinking about, and it looks like it's already there. I think I want to learn more about it and see if there are like Toastmaster chapters in my area where youth are going, because I think that this is very needed, because kids today have so much anxiety. I mean, anxiety that I didn't have it when I was growing up, not the kind of anxiety they have now. And they text so much that they don't even know how to talk to people, you know. So getting up and doing a speech in front of someone, that would kill a lot of them.
You're spot on, Brian. You're well said. The most common response I get from any youth and children joining the youth program in a survey is, I want to learn conversational skills. They want to learn the art of conversation. That sometimes holds them back. So you're very right, Brian.
All right, looks like Sam has a question.
Yes, Sam, go ahead.
So do you guys have a specific curriculum that you go off of that you guys created?
Great question, Sam. Yes, Toastmasters has a very good, comprehensive, prescribed format. We do go through that format. It's a 7-week program. It's well structured with light home assignments so that we make it measurable, fun. At the same time, we make sure we give them an opportunity to practice and deliver speeches. So it's a structured and well-defined program.
And you said it was 7 weeks?
That is correct.
And where do we find that on the Toastmasters website, or do we contact
Yes.
you for that? Or
Yeah, you can find it on the Toastmasters website, as well as I'll be glad to share specific links with Brian. He could circulate that.
okay.
Anyone else? All right, if there are no other questions or anything, then we'll go ahead and wrap everything up. So I want to thank all of the speakers today, Jon, Sam, Doreen, and Somesh, and let you know that our next virtual summit will be Thursday, January 13th. So stay tuned and watch for emails that I send out. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thank you, Brian, and happy holidays. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, everyone have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.